Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips with a Z on Instagram. And how's it going? It's another week of reselling. What did I do this week in reselling? Did quite a bit. I was just thinking of all the shit I was going to start talking about, and then I got sidetracked. I have a lady who's going to pick up a Halloween costume. And so she had messaged me at like 8 o'clock this morning, but I was on my way to take my kid to school, and I just completely missed. For some reason, I don't get like notifications on Marketplace. Like if they send me a message and then they send me a message, like if they reply too fast, I don't see, it doesn't just like, you know what I mean? Even if I'm not in the message, I don't get any type of notification that's like, hey, this person replied. And so I have to go in and actually check. And then sure enough, they've messaged me back. And I'm like, fuck. So I try to be better about checking it. But she just reached back to me like right after I had replied. So anyway, it's getting closer to Halloween. Halloween sales have picked up a little bit. This lady's picking something up off of Marketplace. Sorry, there might be some extra noise from the chair. I like fucked up I don't even know how I did it, but it's like my neck or I can't even tell if it's like my neck or my scapula or what, but it's not been good. I think it's getting better. I can't really tell. So I don't know. I hope I don't have to go. I've been stretching and shit and doing different shit, but we'll see. So, another week. Fuck, I just had something that I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to have to check my things this early. Sorry. Yeah, fuck, I can't even remember what I was going to talk about. I just was like on the way, doing some good shit. Now I'm just fucking babbling. Let me take a swig of water here and try to... All right, I'm back. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck. I just completely like had a brain fart and had to do a reset. Anyway, so yeah, it's like mid-October right now, and yard sales are... There's actually been like a lot of yard sales. But, the problem is that they're kind of spread out. So, like, it's hard to, like, obviously get to all of them. You have to drive a lot. And so it starts to become less worth it. Because, like, let's say you drive 15 minutes. Like, every time, like, I was looking at the time every time I would put in a new address this past weekend, and it would be, like, 15 minutes. So every single time I'd have to, like, take the time to fucking drive to somewhere new. So it was like, every 2 sales was like a half hour of just driving. And so that adds up quick. And so you're just like not really covering much ground. In the summer, it's like you'll do that, but along the way you'll find like a bunch of fucking sales. But like there are a decent amount of sales, which is nice. It's just that like the ones I've found so far have been kind of shitty. Like Saturday wasn't great. Although I went to one sale where it was like the lady, I think she was just selling all of her dead husband's like stuff. Because I had asked about like clothes. I was like, oh, do you have any like men's clothes or anything like that? And she's like, I had my husband's clothes and I donated them. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Sorry for your loss. She's just like, yeah. It's like, all right, well, like, people are going to ask you questions about stuff. You know what I mean? People come looking for... I'm sure I wasn't the only person who came there and was like, do you have any, like, men's clothes? So, but, yeah. It's always... That's always... Like, I know, like, you want to get rid of them. You don't want to look at them. But it's like, if you're going to get rid of all the other stuff... Like, I'm sure the guy liked his tools more than his fucking clothes. You know what I mean? If he had so many tools... That it's like, if you're that type of person, then like the tools are like the thing you're more connected to. And so like, if you just, I mean, unless you're like, oh, I want these to go to a good cause or something. I don't know. But there's so many people that have sales and they're like, I donated the clothes. It's like, well, why don't you try selling them first? Like, yeah, you can still donate it and you can donate whatever you don't sell at your sale. So like, I don't see what the fucking issue is. So anyway, hold on a second. I need to take some fucking ibuprofen here. I like slept awkwardly on my fucking neck. And so I already said that, but so I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. But I'm hoping it gets better. Because it's like a pain in the ass to fucking deal with. I don't like taking ibuprofen, but it definitely helps with the inflammation. Or it just makes me feel like it does. All the leaves are changing. There's like a few more indoor sales that are happening like this weekend. It's supposed to be decent out this weekend. Like it stays decent in October. We had the rain recently. I don't know if it was fallout from that like hurricane or whatever, but yeah, it's been like decent weather. It's cold today. It's sunny though. So we took a walk earlier, but it was fucking freezing. Stretched our legs. Went for a little adventure in the community. But yeah, it's getting closer and closer to Halloween. I haven't found too many. Like, I usually find more Halloween decorations and, like, because I'll buy cool Halloween shit to sell because it does sell. But I haven't really found that stuff. I don't know. I can't tell if more people are, like, trying to, because boomers love to use Facebook. And so if it's, like, an easy way to sell your shit, I feel like more people are going to try to use that. But I don't know how long that'll last. Like, people don't really want to pay top prices. And, like, I sell my shit cheap on Facebook, and people still are like, hey, will you do, like, this much? I'm like, sure. So, you know, I had somebody that reached out. I got, like, a bunch of free shit recently. So one of the free things I got, this lady posted asking, like, if anybody's having a yard sale soon and they, you know, wanted anything donated that they could just take to sell. So I, like, reached out, like, was like, yeah, do you have any of this, and this? Which she didn't say she had any of the stuff I asked about, but she was like, I have a Department 56 collection. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take that. Like, sweet. So, you know, I got it for free. I went through it all just to make sure nothing was broken. It took me like an hour or so. And then, but there's like a bunch of pieces to it. There's a ton of it. So I posted it for like 400. I had somebody reach out and they were like, would you do 250? So I'm like, I got this for free. Like, yeah, just come get it the next day. Sure. Perfect. You know what I mean? And then they reached back out. Oh, sorry. I was buying this to resell, and I think that the price, everything would have to be perfect and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the price is cheap. I went like below what eBay was. And like, I'm open to offers. But it's like a bunch of like the weird Christmas shit. It's like the like Charles Dickens or some shit. So it doesn't even look like, it looks like I don't know, just like a sad, depressing version of Christmas. There's like no Christmas indications that it's Christmas, you know what I mean? It's just like fucking sad little village shit. So, but whatever, it'll sell. I have it posted on Craigslist and Facebook, so I'm sure somebody will reach out soon and be like, will you take this much? And I'll say, yes, I'll fucking take that. So, yeah. And then the other thing I got for free was a box of VHS tapes. This lady had posted it on one of the Buy Nothing groups. And so it was there for like the entire day. It was there for like 6 hours or some shit when I finally saw it. And somebody had commented that they wanted it. So I sent a message to the lady. And I was like, hey, or I didn't send a message. I just I did my trick. If you listened last week, I think it was last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so I did that. And the lady was like, well, somebody else, it's pending pickup. tomorrow, but if they fall through, I'll let you know. And so like I like, looked at the person's profile or whatever, the person who was supposed to pick it up, because you can see that shit. So I was like, and I saw that they were from like, almost 30 minutes away. And nobody ever fucking drives for shit in Massachusetts. Like nobody. Like people think that 30 minutes is a long way to drive. So like to drive that distance to where he had to pick it up, it was like 5 minutes from where I live, like probably 30 minutes from where they lived. And so like at like 5:30 or something like that the next day, because they had like, they were talking in the comments like, oh, I get out of work at like 5, blah 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 blah, and I try to get there. That's what they said. So at 5:30 I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm still interested in that if it's not been picked up and I can come right away. And she replied like 15 minutes later. I went and picked it up. It was like 5 minutes from my house. Boom. Sent her a message when I got back and I was like, hey, thank you. If you end up finding anything else from like this era, because it was all cool shit. Like it was like hip hop VHSs, like obscure shit, like horror. So like nothing crazy valuable, but there was some decent shit in there. And so, I sent a message and was like, yeah, if you come across anything else. And she's like, yeah, we just started going through stuff, so I'll let you know. It's like, all right, hopefully she fucking remembers. I'm going to check back in like a couple weeks. I'm actually going to set a reminder right now, because you got to check back. People do not fucking remember you. It's very rare that they remember you. Let me see. Yeah, I'll check back next week, because that'll be like 2 weeks. Actually, that's not how math works. Sorry, I just don't want to forget. Check back with VHS lady. Sorry, I'm just... Otherwise, I'll fucking forget. All right, where was I? So, yeah, decent shit. So hopefully she reaches back out. I told her I was looking for like t-shirts, all my usual shit. So it would be crazy if she just like hits me up with like totes of shit. I'd be like, fuck yeah. But we'll see. That stuff never fucking happens. But I'm definitely going to fucking reach out. Just a gentle reminder. Like, hey, I'm still around. Very interested. I can come immediately. Ooh. And I'll clean your house out for you. I hope I'm not getting like some fucking type of spine disease. Shit. Not like, just, you know what I mean? Like crooked spine or some shit. Man. We went to a pumpkin patch recently with the family. It was so packed. It's like a line for everything. So we just kind of went in. The kids were happy with the pumpkins that they had like right immediately. You know what I mean? We're going to go to another pumpkin patch at some point. We just were looking for something to do. But yeah, got some donuts. The donuts were really good. But yeah, there was like a line everywhere. So we just went to another playground just up the road. There was like nobody there. Had a good time. But man, was it packed. Fucking fall, man. Fall in New England. All the shoobies. The fall shoobies. I don't know if you've ever seen Rocket Power or not. But shoobies were like the tourists that didn't live there. So yeah, then Sunday. How did Sunday go? I went to a sale and this lady... This picture frame is like hella crooked. I went to the sale and this lady was just like damn near giving the stuff away. She was like, oh wait, no, that was the week before. I'm trying to remember what this Sunday was. Let me look on my... I went to this... That's right. So Sunday I went to this sale and they were like... They had the sale Saturday. And in the ad, they had posted that they had a Wii in games, like a Nintendo Wii. Now, like, I won't fucking pay a ton of money for a Wii, but like, I know how much to pay for a Wii, and it's like just about the same every time, as long as there's like a few things. So this thing checked a few boxes and then some. And so, I'm looking around. I didn't want really anything else that they had. And so I'm like, oh, how much is your Wii? And she goes, oh, yesterday I was asking 100, but today I would do 75. And so, oh, I was like, oh, well, that's a little more than I was thinking of offering. She was like, well, what were you thinking of offering? I was like, well, probably 25, which is like very reasonable. I'm not going to like, retire from this, but it was, fair enough to where I'll make some money. And so she's like, oh yeah, I'll take that. Like, so, she probably scared a bunch of people off with her super high prices. And then, yeah, I was like, I'll lowball the shit out of you, old lady. And so she gave it to me for 25. But it was like a Nintendo Wii. It had Wii Sports Resort that was opened. And I fucked up. I'm an idiot. So, I mean, it probably wouldn't got me that much more money. And I just threw it in with the rest of my manuals as like an extra. But I sold Wii Sports Resort, and then I found the manual afterwards. It was like there was like a bag of the console manual. And so it had the Wii Sports one in there. And I sold that game. I got the game, listed it the next day, sold it, and shipped it like within a couple minutes of shipping. And then like got home, and later that day I found so like all in the same day I found it. So that sucked. But there was also like a Wii fishing game. And that game was like, it wasn't worth a ton, but it had there was a fishing rod that came with it, so it's like probably $30. You know what I mean? Then the console set, I'll probably get, at least $20 instantly. You don't get much for Wii's anymore. So like all together, and then there was a sealed Nintendo Wii Sports. So I'll probably get like $30. It's up for 35 right now, so I'll probably drop it down. Probably get like between 25 and 30 for it. And so, but yeah, the Nintendo Wii will sell instantly for like probably $20. But I have somebody who just they follow me, and anytime I list video game consoles and shit, they just like send me an offer instantly. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I wait, sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? But wait, I was just about to. What was I talking about just now? Hold on, because I want to segue. I have it written down as to what I was going to be talking about. And it was... Fuck, what was it? Oh, yeah. So I was talking about the Wii console manual. And it's like... So I've noticed for some... I don't know if it's because like a lot of old people buy the Wii, and like older people typically, but like every single time I get a Nintendo Wii from a yard sale, not every single time, but like 90% of the time, it has the fucking Wii console manual, which is like, it's very girthy, it's thick. So this fucking thing like adds, I don't know how much to the weight of the package. And nobody fucking wants it. Like, nobody's collecting these. Like, I'm sure somebody is collecting them, but like, it's not, they're everywhere. Like, every time I find a fucking Wii, that big motherfucker is in there. And I don't know, is it just me? I don't understand why there's always it's constantly. I'll go and get like or somebody will give me a box with Wii stuff in it. There's always. It's crazy. I don't understand it. It's like a Wii manual phenomenon. Doesn't make sense. I don't get it. All right, it's gonna be one of those days where I have to use my notes here because a couple weeks ago I thought I had talked about it, but I don't think I did. I went to an estate sale like a few weeks back, and it had been posted, and it was an area I don't usually go to because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to, or it can be. Not necessarily this time of year, but so anyway, they have a sale and they like post pictures, and it was a privately listed sale, so it was like you knew it was a family that was doing it. It wasn't a company. And so I always like try to look into like whoever's having the sale. Like if they post it on Facebook, you can kind of like look and see what their profile, where they're from, this, that, and the other. So the person who was hosting the sale wasn't from around here, so that's always a good sign. Like they're coming in from out of town. They just want to be done with it. And so so I get there, and I had my daughter with me, so I was early. I had to wait and sit in there and like, hang out. And so I got there probably an hour before they opened, maybe a little bit more. And so the guy was like just putting up the signs. I talked to him. I told him the stuff I was interested in. And so like all these other people started showing up after. And this old lady shows up after, like this girl shows up behind me. And then after that, there's a few more people. Well, so then after this girl, there's two old ladies show up. And like, so I'm standing there like, waiting. And the guy kept coming in the garage and then the front door. And so they were like, I wasn't sure where they were going to let people in. You know what I mean? Sometimes like you can line up in the wrong spot and then you get fucked. You know what I mean? So I just was waiting. Like there was a spot where you could stand, where you could either go right to go to the house, or you could go left to go straight over to the garage. And so the garage opened first. And so like, I sit there and wait. Oh wait, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. So these old ladies come up, and she's like, so I'm waiting, and I had already talked to the dude, all that shit. And these ladies go like, oh, has anybody come out yet? I'm like, yep. I've talked to them. I don't know if they're going to wait until 9 or what. Like, I'm just, just waiting, this, that, and the other. Mind you, I have my baby on me, and usually like people are like, oh, hi, da, 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 like acknowledging the baby. Like these people were like hardcore, like they just wanted to get in there. And so she's like, oh, did you talk to him? This, that. I'm like, yep, I already talked to him. Does he know you're here? I'm like, yes. If I talk to him, like, yes, I know, he knows I'm here. So she's like, maybe we should like knock on the door and see. This is all like 2 minutes after she arrives. And so I'm like standing there. She's like, I'm not going to cut you. I'm just going to go knock on the door. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm just sitting there like, so she goes, and I see her talking to the dude. And I'm like, well, secretly, I'm like, I hope he lets us in, like, because this lady's being annoying. But like in my head, I'm like, oh, this lady's like just going to make them even more annoyed. So they come back, and she's like, yeah, they said they can open like 10 minutes early. So, and they like got back in line, and she's like, I just told them the truth. I just told them I have to be to work. It's like, well, they're not going to have their sale start around your work schedule. It's such an insane, like, to just show up to an estate sale and be like, I have to work, so can you open? Like, if you showed up to a professional company and you said that shit, they'd be like, go fuck yourself. This lady was just like, I have to work. But what was cool though is the lady then who like because it was like ended up being like a group of people. It was like a family, and so like one of the ladies who she must have been like an aunt or something, and she like opened the door, and she's like she came out, and she like was like, she's like, what are you here for? And she asked me specifically, and I came over and I told her. I should have told her records. The records didn't look great from the pictures, but I ended up getting like a stack of records that was really good after everybody had picked through them. So I'm assuming the classic rock stuff went. I don't know like what they would have had, but it would have been so cheap. I should have gone there first. But the video games, I went to check the video games, and then like there wasn't any video games that really stood out to me. So I was like, oh great, like that's cool. And so then I ended up finding So then I like went and looked at the toys and like got the toys, blah 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 blah. So I kept like grabbing shit in like waves. So I bought like a bin of toys and ended up going just back and forth throughout the house. Mind you, I have my daughter, so I'm like trying to do all this shit. So I'm like making piles, asking people for help, this, that, and the other. There's a few things I missed, like that I wanted to grab. That I was like, oh, I'll go back and grab that, and I just forgot about it. Left some shit lying around. I think I talked about that part. But like I kept finding shit everywhere. Every time I would look in different places, I would find something. And then like I would go to another part of the house and find something. Like it was crazy. I just kept finding shit. Went back to the video games, like after it had been searched through, found some shit. So like I got a ton of vintage clothes. Like I found a ton of shit. So it ended up being a really good sale. And they were cheap. Like they were just like, I think they said $60. I had like, I filled my car for $60. Like it was crazy. And so, but yeah, obviously with the kid, I was a little distracted. But there was a few more things that I had wanted to pick up that I just completely... Yeah, there's like a rushed in Santa that I've sold before for like $100, and I completely forgot to grab it. So, yeah, it's sometimes when you get the kiddo, it can be distracting. You know, you're just trying to fucking make sure you're not shaking them around. Because I just wear her in the pack. She's a little too big for it, so she just hangs on. And, but yeah, it gets fucking hot. So it's harder in the winter time. It gets like colder shit with the kid. I can't really do it as well. Let me see. What's the next topic? So hold on. I'm going to stop this because I need to reply to this lady. All right, I'm back. Sorry, the lady was messaging me about this Cruella de Vil Halloween costume. Yeah, it's funny, like when adults pick up Halloween costumes for themselves. Like, you're fucking dork. No, I dress up for Halloween, but it's like with my kids now. I mean, we all used to dress up when we would go out and get fucked up. We go to parties and shit, and you just get like, you know, where I don't remember if I probably didn't buy costumes because I hated spending like when I was younger, I was such a degenerate that like I hated spending money on like I would not want to spend money on a Halloween costume. I think I remember like ordering. I remember we did the Boondock Saints one year, me and my buddy, and we like bought these jackets from. They were either like American Eagle or they're sick. I still have the jacket. Actually, what was that? Was that jacket? I don't remember if that was the jacket that I wore for that. I'd have to see the movie again because I remember we bought me and my buddy bought the same jacket, so he could be the Boondock Saints. I think they wear the same jacket or some shit or similar jackets in the movie. Yeah. So like. I get it. I can't sit here and make fun of people as I'm like laughing about my fucking former days of dressing like the Boondock Saints. But anyway. So, all right, let me just pull this shit up because I'm struggling. It's Q4. So I've been actually better this Q4. The fucking mail lady came the other day. And I was luckily taking the trash out, so I ran into her before she like had to do all this work. But she's like, "Yeah, you got a ton of packages." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I had like a bunch of the free. If you go to USPS.com, you can order like the free boxes that you can use. And so I don't know what I did. I ran out, so I was trying to order enough, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to need more because it's Q4. But I somehow ordered a shit ton, but somehow I made it all fit. I had to reorganize, but I made it all fit, and like now it's like, you know, more organized and shit. But there was so many boxes I had ordered to get ready. So I did that. I ordered like packing material because I always like, I will wait. So I got my packing material. I just ordered my 8x6x4 boxes. Those are the ones I use the most. Because I really don't ship too many big things. Like certain big things I'll ship if they won't sell on eBay or on Facebook. Like I'm getting ready to list the TV. I've got a Disney Princess TV. So I'm contemplating wrapping it up and putting it in a box and just like getting it ready and then shipping it as soon as somebody buys it. So I think that's the next step because I want it out. It's so big. So I just get to that point where I'm like, I'm just going to fucking ship this. So occasionally I do ship some bigger things and I do have some bigger boxes. My mom orders online all the time. So I just fucking use her. And she's almost always like nondescript boxes. I don't even know if that's a word, nondescript. There's just, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a word or not, but they're always just like regular boxes. Just like brown boxes. So yeah, I'm hoping to be ready and I need to like get on top of listing a lot more. So I've been trying to stay on top, like as stuff comes in and like try not to work too long on certain projects. Finally finish those goddamn Legos, whatever. And then I finished cleaning like the Balenciagas and the Yeezys. But the Balenciagas still kind of smelled, so I fucking blasted them with the Ozium and let them sit. I got to go back and check them and see, and then just kind of spot clean them. But they didn't get 100%, but they got nice enough to where I can charge like a few $100s for them. So it was worth the little extra elbow grease. And then the Yeezys still have like a couple of things that I'm trying to get out, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But I feel like people who buy those shits like them to be dirty, like pre-worn, because they're weirdos and shit. I don't know. I love Kanye, but I feel like people who wear his stuff are either weirdos or they've got enough money to just burn on shit. I don't know. People, maybe you're not a weirdo if you wear Yeezys. Maybe you're in the future. I can't really fucking talk. I wear like dad shoes, like New Balance and like Vans. And like they've got to have cushion or comfort or something in the title, because otherwise, I can't do it. All right, right back to it. So yeah, Q4. I've got some other toy lots that I need. I've got a bunch of toys that I need to go through and do. This is like the time to do it. So I don't know. I got a Whatnot auction ready, like prepped, not like on the actual app, but I got all the, it's like the Monster High dolls. So I wanted to do a Monster High auction for the month of October. But like the last weekend, so the weekend before, my wife's been off every weekend, and like every weekend we say we're going to do it, and then something happens and we just don't end up doing it. So I have them all ready. So I think this weekend will finally be the weekend. So check out our Whatnot this weekend. I'll post it on Instagram and stuff, but I'm hoping that we can get one in. But I just have still have all those NECA figures that I got for free. I have like a bin of just hundreds of dollars of toys that I got for free. Some guy just like was like, well, actually I gave him $20, I think, because like I felt bad because there was so much stuff. Speaking of which, so this is kind of related. So this past weekend, what day was it? It was Friday. So my wife was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which was awesome. So I could do like yard sales every single day, even though they weren't great ones. So there's one. So I was like, all right, I drove to it and this lady was there. I've seen her before at yard sales. So I like walked up and I was like, is there any sign of anybody here? And she's like, no, not yet. And it was like I'm glad I didn't get there any earlier. I got there at like maybe 15 minutes before, maybe less, maybe sort of like 13 minutes before. So we're just sitting there and like, I'm waiting and this other guy shows up. And so they start like looking around. So I was like, all right, fucking, I'm going to look around. So we're all like shopping around, waiting for somebody to show up. So then the guy leaves. There's really nothing I want. There's some video games, but there's like nothing great. I should have gone back for him after like, once I decided what I was going to do. So I go back over to like the DVDs, and they've got like like probably 15 Muppet Show DVDs from like a Time Life set or something. So I looked them up because I have time. And so they sell for some decent money. So I was like, oh, I'll grab these. Like, so I start making a little pile and shit. It's mostly just DVDs. So it was like stuff I could lot up, like Scooby-Doo DVDs, this, that, and the other. And so it's 9 o'clock. The sale's supposed to start at 9. There's no indication that there's not a sale. This stuff's all out. It was actually wet, so I think they put it out the night before. So this lady goes and knocks on the door. She has stuff she wants to buy too. And she's like, I gotta go. Like, da 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, in this instance, we are entitled to fucking knock on the door. Especially if we drove all the way there for a sale that you're like not there for. So no answer at the door. There's a dog inside barking, like nobody shows up. Like, so it's like 9:15 at this point. And I'm like, all right, my wife wasn't feeling great. I was like, I gotta get back to the house. Like, I gotta go. So this lady's like, I'm just gonna leave a note. Like, she walked around the yard sale and somehow found an envelope. So then we each put money in the envelope. And she just left a little note, and we just fucking left. But like, yeah, dude, talk about like not showing up for you. So like, yeah, did I give myself a heavy discount? Of course I did, because I had to give myself an employee discount. You know, just like you should do at the fucking grocery store, and you got to do in the self-checkout every once in a while. Just do your employee discount. You know what I mean? You'll get it if you're smart enough. But anyway. So, yeah, just never showed up. Just didn't show up. So, yeah. Most of them were sealed, which was good. There was one that was actually broken, so I had to like toss that one. But the rest were fine, in like good condition. It was random that one was broken. I was like, did I break this? But I don't think I did. Yeah, so anyway, I think we got like 20 minutes left. So that was on Friday. Let me see, what else do I have to talk about? I have a bunch of shit still. I did that one. I did that one. Oh, so I had an eBay return. And so they returned it, and they were like, yeah, there's mold and mildew everywhere, and I can't use this bag. So I was like, oh yeah, I can relist that bag. I forgot about that. Hold on, let me do this so I don't forget. Otherwise, I will forget. All right. So, anyway. Hold on, did I just get... It says I have negative feedback, but I don't think I can see it. It says negative feedback received. Hold on. Ooh, did I just get... Are you seeing me read feedback in real time right now? Negative feedback? I don't think it changed it, yeah. I don't think they can. Yeah. 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 If somebody like... So, these people returned a backpack. I was actually just starting to talk about this when I saw the feedback. So, so yeah, just when I was looking, I saw it said that I had negative feedback had been received. So this person like bought a bag from me, claimed it was moldy and mildew, didn't send any pictures, returned it, saying it was defective. I get it back, so I had to pay for shipping, which was like $25 for some reason. So I get the bag back, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I don't have the option to like get my money back. So I was like, oh well, there's an option to give a partial refund. So I did that, and then I like reached out to eBay to be like, hey, how do I get like the rest of my shipping back, and they're like, oh, you're not supposed to use that for your partial refund to recoup shipping losses. I'm like, well, how the fuck else am I supposed to? Like, you don't give me the option too. So I don't understand how the fuck. So I guess that's their policy, but so, which is like really ridiculous that they can just be like, yeah, there's something wrong with this bag, and then return it. So they could have used it for like a weekend, returned it with nothing wrong with it, and then, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Where are we at here? Get distracted with that. Am I the only person who... I was just thinking about this the other day, and I just had to put this down, but am I the only person who occasionally gets the urge to just crush a bag of Haribo bears? The Haribo, like the gold bag gummy bears. Every once in a while, like when I'm shopping in the store, I'll be like, dude, just grab a bag of Haribo bears. I grabbed one the other day. We were in the store. We were like doing a family shopping trip, and I grabbed it and I threw it in the shopping cart, and like somehow the kids didn't see it. My wife didn't see it. She saw it once we got to the checkout, and then I grabbed them, like, so I ate half of them that day. And then the next day we were going out to the pumpkin patch, and I threw the other half in my pocket and was just like chowing on them throughout the day. It's bad. I don't do it all the time, but occasionally I'm just like, the feeling creeps up, and it's like, dude, just buy a bag of Haribo bears and just destroy it. And then I do. And I don't feel like bad. Like, you don't feel shitty afterwards. I mean, that time it was like split up, you know what I mean? I did share a couple of them. But they're so good. They're so hard to eat too. They've got to be terrible for your teeth. I don't know. Maybe they're strong. Make these teeth stronger. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm trying to think about where I'm at. So 5 plus 25, 45. So I have 45 minutes. That's not bad. Let me see. Get back to my thing here. All right. So, oh yeah, so I bought this fucking Mickey and Minnie thing the other day. Like, it's a bigger Christmas thing. They're like, oh, I ask them, like, oh, does it work? She turns it on, shows me. So we put it in a box, and I put it in the car, and I'm like, all right, this should be perfect. Like, this, this box shouldn't move. Like, it's a big box. And somehow this fucking box, I was almost home, and like I came off the highway, and this box fucking tipped over. So I don't think it like actually broke. I think I can put the pieces back on, but I was like, God damn it, like, what the fuck? So that I'll probably sell on Marketplace anyway, and I'm sure somebody will buy it. It's getting towards Christmas time, so I'm really hoping that collection moves quickly. I hate having that much fucking shit in my basement. Every time I clear shit out, and then an opportunity pops up. But this one's, at least, I was so happy that person was like, I'll buy it for $250. Did I even say that? They said they would buy it for $250, and then they like reached out and they're like, I can't do that. I'm gonna be reselling this stuff. Yeah, I did say that. Duh, dumb fuck. So yeah, I'm just really hoping that just, but you can't pass this up. You know what I mean? It'll, even if it sells for like $150 and I keep it for a week, it's like, you know what I mean? It was like an hour of work, storage, and then boom, $150 is cash. But we'll see if it actually sells. Or if I'm just taking it to fucking Savers for my 20% discount. Yeah, I went to Savers recently, and it was just not. I never find anything there, ever. So then I went to a yard sale, and I asked the lady, I'm like, oh, do you have any video games? My usual bullshit. And she's like, she goes, yeah. She goes, right here. And so she goes, hold on a second. She goes to get it. And so like as she does that, I look down on the DVDs and there's a Nintendo GameCube. It was like Sonic Adventures. So I picked it up and she like comes back. She goes, oh, that one isn't for sale. That's not supposed to be in there. It's like, oh, okay. Like, here you go. She gives me the tote of video games. So I start going through it. And like, so as I'm going through it, I find like, it's all Xbox stuff. So I'm looking it up because it's like the last sale of the day. So I'm like, I've got time. And so there's nobody else like trying to look at the video games right now. So I'm like looking each one up. And so not each one, but like the ones I knew, the ones I wasn't sure of. So there was some good Xbox 360 games in there. There's some like rare, like, you know, more obscure titles. Sometimes that doesn't mean shit for Xbox 360, but these games actually look like they were decent. So grab some of those. Then I found a GameCube game, another GameCube game. So I threw it in the pile, whatever. Go over to the DVDs. I start looking through it, and then I find 2 more GameCube games, throw them in, and like then I find a DVD, blah blah blah. So, and I'm going through it with her, and the lady's like, she's like, okay, the games are $2 a piece, and the movie's $1, blah blah blah. So I was like, I had $20 in games, and then like $1 in movies, so it was like $21. And so she's like, oh yeah, thank you for being fine with that, blah blah blah. Like the GameCube games weren't supposed to be in there, and so I didn't realize until she said that, like, the GameCube games weren't supposed to be in there. She just said that one's not supposed to be in there. You know what I mean? She wasn't like, oh, the GameCube games aren't supposed to be in there. So I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, at this point, she was like, yeah, he's still sleeping. She's like, he didn't want to get up and help. Da, 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 da. So then I was like, all right, well, fuck this kid. Like, he should have got up and helped. Like, he's, you know what I mean? Like, if my mom had sold my shit, I would be fucking mad. But like, if I didn't get up to help, then it's my fault. So I was just like, at that point, I already paid for him. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to slink out of here. But yeah, so it wasn't anything like crazy. It was like, you know, probably like a $30 game and then 2 $20 games. Yeah, so nothing crazy. But so anyway, yeah, that was pretty much the whole weekend. Yeah, I had another negative feedback. So I had somebody return. I don't know why my nose got like really stuffed up all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because I'm like sitting awkwardly because my back hurts. But I had somebody, they wanted to, they reached out and they said that they had bought like these 5 figures from me. Now these figures, I checked it before I put it in. Like there was 5 of them in there. Like they had been in the same bag. The bag was closed with a knot. Like, and they had been in the same bag since I got them. Like it was a Scooby-Doo, like figures. So I send them. And the lady's like, oh, they messaged me and they go, oh, this is supposed to have 5 figures and there was only 4. And so like, for me, it's like I'm always trying to like, you know, protect myself. They have to return it anyway. And so like they were like trying to not have to return it. And I always like say shit like, you know, I always include like stuff about IC3 fraud, this, that, and the other. I say the same shit, just like, because a lot of times it is fraudulent. You know what I mean? People will try to do some bullshit, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean. You know what I mean? Like, not like they won't say, like they'll start. Sorry, I got sidetracked. They'll start like a return for some bullshit. You know what I mean? And then like, they won't follow through with it because, you know, they just are looking for somebody to give them a refund. So there's a lot of people that fish for refunds. And so like, you know, I just kind of handle every situation like, not that you're doing that, but like that you're doing that. And so like, I'm always like, yeah, you can start a return. They're like, well, I'm not going to start a return. I already gave these to my grandson. It's like, that's eBay's policy is that they have to return it before I give you a refund. Like plain and simple. Like I can't refund you if you don't return the item. And so they didn't want to return it, and then they left a negative feedback, so I had to respond to it. But they called me she, so I should have just like reported it to eBay and been like, hey, I identify as a male and they misgendered me, so I would like you to remove this, please. And they might actually do it for something like that. They might actually be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. I have no idea where I'm at as far as time goes because I had to start and stop a few times. My child actually fell asleep. I think I've got like 7 more minutes if my math is correct. Maybe a little bit less. I think I did like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I don't know. But let me see. Did I miss anything that I wanted to talk about? Do. Yeah, and it's weird that eBay doesn't let you see the negative feedback that they said from like when they, because it gets removed. So anytime you have a customer, if they buy something from you and they return it, then they can't leave feedback. You know what I mean? So like, if somebody buys something from you, they can't leave. You know what I mean? They won't be able to leave feedback. So you just can't see it. It'll show as negative feedback received, but you can't see it. And they should let you see what it says. Because it's like, you should still be able to like appeal that. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't be able to return, like, they said that there's a way to submit like a false claim or something like that. I still can't figure out how to do it. There's like no help for anything on anything with eBay for shit like that. You just have to kind of fumble your way through it. And if you maybe get lucky, you know what I mean? Like, so. But whatever. At this point, it's like, I don't even feel like dealing with it. It just is like constantly nonsense. So, I should block that account too. I forgot to block them. I'll have to do that. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time with like dead air for like the next minute or so, however many time. I think I'm going to wrap up the podcast. This week there's a few sales that I'm kind of interested in. But I don't know. I'm trying to decide. My wife wants to go see her family, which is like another state away. So we're trying to figure out when to go. But most of their sales start on like Friday. So it's like by the time we get there, like Saturday, it's like they're already in full effect. Like they've been picked over. So I'll probably just stick to my area and then go after that. Because there's like a big community one that is a kind of a pain in the ass, but it's like one of those you have to drive, stop. A lot of resellers. But I don't know. I might just do it because I'm not going to have any kid. Last time I had my kid with me, so I could like kind of got like held up. But so we'll see. I'm going to try to get there early-ish and get through there. Crush it. Man, my fantasy team was looking great. Sorry, I figure I might as well fill the last few minutes. I'm trying to get it to an hour here. For what purpose, I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not making any money doing this. So my fantasy football team, man, fuck. We were pulled off a tough win. Kyler Murray's been a disaster. But Justin Fields has been a bright spot. I'm like, oh, man, I fucking picked up Justin Fields. I didn't think he wasn't even on my radar heading into the season. Because I fucking been there, done that. He was my keeper last year. And it was just a terrible decision. And so this year he's been solid. He's had like 10 touchdowns and 1 interception. They're 4-2. And then they're like, well, we think we're going to switch to fucking Russell Wilson. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing to me? Finally, I was turning shit around. I'm like, I went and got Tua Tagovailoa. This is a backup insurance policy. This is a 2-quarterback league, by the way. And, yeah, I'm like, man, I can't catch a break. I've got the most points scored against me. But they're not going to hold me down. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm fucking ball out, hopefully. So we'll see. I don't know. I can't understand why you would, like, I get it. Justin Fields hasn't been like, you know, hasn't like fucking been amazing, but I really don't think they've actually given him the chance to. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't give a fuck about football, but I don't know, man. Maybe he just sucks. This is just me venting my frustration at this point. I just cannot catch a goddamn break. Anyway, that's a podcast. Perry Flips with a Z on Instagram. Flips and Giggles on Whatnot and eBay. And yeah, that's the podcast. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family if they like reselling content. That's not really that related to reselling, but it is. Then this is their podcast. Thank you.